Oh, hi. Yeah. What's the deal? I'm completely thrown off. I'm not going to be able to talk for the next 20 minutes.
I'm confused.
Because Sean loved your tweet about he's a music nerd, unlike superhero nerd over here. So he wants to nerd out with you about the band Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I did a couple of album covers for Yes.
I know. That's so cool.
Yeah.
You've had a varied past, Bob.
You know what? I'm in competition with Thom Hartmann. We're trying to see which one of us can do absolutely every job in the world at some point or another.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Every time I listen to Thom's show, it's like, yes, back in 78, I was working as a mayor of the Berlin, Germany. And when I was there, I was also cleaning toilets. And they had this thing.
Thom Hartmann was not mayor of Berlin. He is a well-known liar. Yes, no, but you had and you did cartoons, right? Didn't you do?
Yeah, I've done cartoons.
You did,
I've done, I've done something in just about every form of entertainment, and I've landed on the lowest rung of entertainment, which is radio/podcasting. So
no, me too. That's why
I'm doing it wrong.
That's why we're soulmates. Because someone said I'm one of the only people that I've hosted literally every kind of TV show and failed at all of them. So it's hard. It's not easy to do, Bob.
Yeah, I had a TV show. I made an independent movie. I published a book. I've been on the radio, and I do a podcast now. The next rung down on the ladder, Stephanie. We should warn each other. Porn. What's next.
That's where we're going. I will begin my career where I will end my career where I began it at the Itchy Kitty in Reseda on a pole. Except
I'll see you there.
Super old and sad. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm being a little harsh on myself. I wouldn't say failed at every genre of television, just not doing it anymore. Just, succeeded so much that I no longer needed to.
What do you call all this? This is a TV show.
Right. It's true. Right? But I did late night show, game show, political talk show. I can't remember anymore.
Like Deborah Vance in Hacks.
I'm Deborah Vance in Hacks. Yes.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, she had a show that was kind of historic. She had a late night talk show.
Me too. Yes.
And so did you. And that's what I'm saying.
That no one remembers.
But it was still legendary. It was still history making.
Thank you. When I sat down for CNN's History of Late Night, I'm like, I won't be in this. I will get disappeared into the cornfield again. 1995 didn't exist.
It's like Fred Wallace's character, Fred Willard's character in Waiting for Guffman. He had a show, and then it was canceled. But that's how you develop a cult. So there you go.
Yes, I am Gene Smart in Hacks, and Sean is obviously the young writer that is much smarter and funnier than me.
Oh, that was from A Mighty Wind.
Whatever.
Wrong show. Wrong movie.
All right, whatever. Bob, let's get on with it.
I'm going to go back to
democracy is dying here, Bob. Let's pay attention. So last night, not a surprise, and yet still depressing. And yet I am I'm not going to quit. I've got no place else to go. Both on this show, since I'm already at the bottom rung. I'm on the bottom rung and hanging on to the ladder. That's it. Democracy and this show.
I ain't gonna quit. I got nowhere else to go.
So we've got to keep fighting, right? We've got to figure out how to. So what did you make of some of the people that were saying this is not over? This is a first step, and that they're going to keep. I don't know whether it's bringing it up or find other. I don't know what they alluded that POTUS is working on something behind the scenes we haven't heard about yet. What do you think?
I'd like to think that were true. I'd like to think that was something that was actually a possibility. I don't know what other quivers or whatever other arrows they have in their quiver on this, where they're going to go from here. If they weren't able to muscle Sinema and Manchin into eliminating the filibuster before this and then voting for this particular law, even the one that they voted on yesterday is the Joe Manchin compromise version of the law. And so you think at least that would have maybe motivated him to say, well, you know what, maybe we should reform the filibuster so we can get this thing that I worked on passed. But that's not happening. And then, I can't help but to think that somehow Kyrsten Sinema,
Newman,
she's driving me nuts. I don't know what her end game is. I don't know what she's trying to do, because all she's succeeding in doing is really pissing off every Democrat in this country.
That got her a vote. That got her elected. I mean, I
can't think of a single Democrat who's like, oh yeah, that Kyrsten Sinema, boy, she's great.
Yeah.
No one is saying that. And I don't know why. She's a freshman senator and she's starting her career in the Senate by making every Democrat hate her. And I'm not sure if this is part of some grand scheme. I tend to think that we watch shows like House of Cards and The West Wing, and we see, the multi-layer chess in those shows. I don't know if that really exists, at least in that sort of depth. So I don't know if she's got some sort of grand scheme here. I think she's just effed up on too many occasions.
Yeah.
And the curtsy over the minimum wage, that started it. And she's just lost respect as time goes on. And she's up for re-election in 2024. I don't know how she intends to get re-elected with every Democrat hating her.
Yeah.
It's just, it's baffling to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what was I going to say? Yeah. By the way, you have the same reaction. You retweeted Michael McKeon. It was very funny. Who said if you saw a character in a movie that was a bodyguard turned executive named Matt Calamari and he looked like this, you would say nope. And you just said, may her first child be a masculine child. It's so mobby. And I'm like, there's a Matty the Squid Jr.? Seriously? There's Matty the Squid. Hey, Matty the Squid Jr. here. Yeah.
I love when they emphasize how ridiculous they are. And this is another occasion where it's a bunch of white guys who maybe don't have any connection to like the Italian mafia. Although my friend Buzz Burbank on our show yesterday was saying, well, maybe Trump's got some connections to the Russian mob. And then it occurred to me, well, Matthew Calamari. Matthew Calamari may not sound Russian,
right?
But he gives off that patina of mobbed up.
I forget there's which Trump book it is, Bob, but have you seen that where there was a conversation like, you'd do anything for me, wouldn't you, Matty? And yes, sir, Mr. Trump, you'd kill for me, wouldn't you, Matty? Yes, sir. And I'm sure they didn't think they were meaning it literally, but who knows? Like Barbara Rez, the former Trump, she actually said, that he knows where all the bodies are buried. And I don't think she necessarily meant it figuratively.
Yeah.
But yeah, she said, let's see, blah, blah, blah. While Alan Weisselberg might know everything about financial documents, the person who really knows where the bodies are buried is, she said, Calamari knows where the bodies are buried. He's been with Trump through thick and thin. Every single move Trump has made, Matt has been there. He might not know anything financial, but he was probably sitting around when things were discussed, so he probably does. And he got the same thing, the free gifts that he probably didn't pay taxes on, like Weisselberg, allegedly, right?
Yeah.
So, who knows?
I wonder how many bodies Matthew Calamari has left on the causeway to Long Island or something. Leave the body, take the cannoli, that kind of thing. That's what I'm thinking. Now I'm trying to think of more mafia references to make. Although, the thing is that I wonder about the toxicity of mafia portrayals in pop culture and how it's made just ordinary white guys walk around saying things like, forget about it, and kind of admiring these mafia guys who are sociopaths, who are serial killers in many cases.
Yeah.
There's nothing really admirable. They're great with jokes. They're very funny people.
Yeah.
But that's
like
not
like they're clowns, like they're here to amuse you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right. Well, everyone who's met members of the mafia always mentions how hysterical they are.
Funny. It's hilarious.
They're funny guys. And then they go and kill 4 people.
Yeah.
And,
hilarious.
Chop up the bodies. Yeah.
Speaking of sociopaths, so we're learning more and more about Trump, of course, from this book. He wanted to put people with COVID at Gitmo. And, he openly wished for John Bolton to die from COVID. He frequently mocked individuals who became ill with COVID before he became infected himself. Trump, this is from the book, Bob. Trump tried to joke about the virus for months, sometimes even mocking people who had become ill. At one meeting, several months before Trump got sick, Larry Kudlow had stifled a cough. The room froze. Trump waved his hands in front of his face as if to jokingly ward off flying virus particles and then cracked a smile. He said, I was just kidding. Larry will never get COVID. He will defeat it with his optimism. John Bolton, hopefully COVID takes out John, he said. People there didn't think he was kidding because he was sociopath.
Everything that we're dealing with as a nation right now, every awful thing has to do with Donald Trump constantly retconning his nonsense, whether it's his lies, his crimes, or these ridiculous jokes at the expense of people who might have COVID, for example, in this book. it's always this perpetual endless loop of Donald Trump saying something stupid and then trying to fix everything around it so the stupid thing actually works. And then we're seeing with the election laws, all these election laws, in Georgia and Florida, Texas, elsewhere. It's all because of Donald Trump trying to retcon his lies. Oh, yes.
You said it. They're making laws based on something he tweeted on the toilet, like a lie that he tweeted on the toilet because of his own ego. And exactly. Anyway, but I was going to say about COVID, you pointed out something I don't think anyone else remembers, is that pathetic picture of him with the tie hanging around his neck and walking across the White House lawn. You said something that often gets overlooked with this pathetic photo. Herman Cain died of COVID because of the rally Trump was returning from, which happened to be in Tulsa the day after Juneteenth. Oh, and Trump didn't need to hold a rally in Tulsa since he'd easily win Oklahoma. It was a major owning the libs stunt that backfired. Trump was embarrassed. Herman Cain died after being infected there. This photo exists, and Trump lost the election anyway. That kind of sums up everything you need to know about Donald Trump, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's something that gets flushed down the memory hole. And that's kind of one of the things that we're going to be talking about on my show in particular, which is that we have to come to terms with the previous year, especially the previous 4 or 5 years, in terms of how harrowing that was for us as a nation. And I don't think people are actually recovered from it psychologically. I think there's a lot of people out there dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder and all the other things that might circulate around that because of the experience that we've all come through that was culminating with COVID and then the insurrection and just ongoing instability with political leadership for 5 years.
He is the husband in Sleeping with the Enemy meets Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction. He seriously is the abusive husband that will not go away. Did you see? Oh, Sean, there was another statement from the office of the 45th president about he denied that he wanted the DOJ to go after SNL. Sorry. And then he ends a cryptic trolling message that seems to allude that he's going to be, reinstalled before 2024, right? He said, it was fabricated, there were no sources, and yet the lamestream media goes with it. I did say, however, Alec Baldwin has no talent, certainly when it comes to imitating me. And then he said to see you in 2024 or before. So that's an insane thing that he's going to be. What did my pillow guy say now? My pillow guy just said again, Bob, that he will be definitely for sure. The Supreme Court's going to vote 9-0 to reinstall him by fall, August.
When they're
it's like the end of days, people. It's okay. The end of the world is going to happen on August 15th. Yeah. Get ready. We're all going to be transported off to be with Jesus. And suddenly August 15th rolls around. Nothing happens because, of course, it doesn't happen. And then they go, oh, wait, we were wrong. It's May 15th of the following year.
Sorry, you sold everything.
Yeah, and this is the ongoing grift. This is how they keep people on the hook, giving them all their money.
Yeah, exactly. You, like me, just hate everybody this morning. You said when I first wrote about how the guaranteed cash payments to parents in the American Rescue Plan would cut childhood poverty in half or more, Red Rose Twitter bitched to me that the bill sucked because it wasn't 100% cut in child poverty. This is why no one takes them seriously. We hate everyone on every side of the aisle this morning, and also animal haters. You talked about Greg Abbott in Texas. This is what I mentioned yesterday. Vetoed the Safe Outdoor Dogs bill. This bill would have allowed for a clearer definition of adequate shelter for dogs and outlawed the use of heavy chains. You just wrote simply, Greg Abbott, had pointed out people who are cruel to animals or who enable cruelty to animals like Greg Abbott are probably cruel to humans or enable cruelty to humans. What is the reason to veto that? Seriously.
I don't know. The best I can come up with is that it was an own the libs kind of move. Liberals are into animal rights, and if I veto this law, which would have kept dogs off of heavy chains in the front yard during the scorching Texas heat. My God. Yeah. It's inhumane. It's awful what Greg Abbott is doing, but he's doing it entirely because people go, ha, 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 ha. See, those liberals will get really upset. Their heads are going to explode now. And
Bob, I have squirrels and or mice rats. They're chewing through wires that are taking me off the air. And I just... A handyman and an exterminator told me to get glue traps, and I just caved to my listener pressure, and I got peppermint oil that's coming today. I'm trying peppermint oil. So listen.
That's good. So your whole place is going to smell like the Willy Wonka chocolate factory.
We'll still be off the air, but it will smell really good here.
Yeah, that's right. And all the rats are going to come by and go, wow, it's great in here. Let's go on the chocolate raft, the chocolate river, and
Minty fresh breath.
where are the Oompa Loompas? Yeah.
You got any orange oil or eucalyptus? Say, we're getting tired of this peppermint oil. They'll just be guzzling it. They say they don't like it. No, they love it. Mine love it. Okay.
Yeah.
I love you.
You're going to... Then suddenly the internet's going to tell you that it's some sort of rat variant that actually loves peppermint oil, and then you have to get a different kind of oil for the other kinds of rats.
They have mutated. My rats have mutated into peppermint loving.
Rat catching rabbit hole. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck with that. Good luck with the internet, Stephanie.
I opened the drawer under the TV, and it didn't even have the decency like a normal rodent to like leave. It just like sort of lumbered. It's like, oh, are you here? Okay, I'll go back and like normally don't they scram so you don't see them? Just like, oh, wow, you're interrupting my nap here. Do you mind?
You've domesticated them.
Oh my God. Okay, all right. Can you confirm that you and Kimberly Johnson and I had a fantastic three-way? By text. I invited you guys to come. I invited you to come stay. I said I have a big refrigerator, big enough for you to have sex. I have 2 extra bedrooms in case you're fighting. I could knock on one of your doors and comfort one of you.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun to have a three-way between. I didn't expect it to be so much fun. People said, well, don't get involved in a three-way because it's, that's going to be the end of your relationship. But it actually spiced ours up.
That's what I said. I was like, who enjoyed this three-way? Me. I did. All right. Love you, Bob. Love Kimberly more. Love Kimberly more. Okay, see ya.
I know. I'm jealous.
Don't we all? All right, goodbye.